everybody, it's Roddy Kirk from BPAC Leader. I have been asked another question, or a couple of questions, from Grant Noble from Noble's Dog Walking in California. Grant's a good friend, a client. We've been communicating for quite a while, and we do quite a few virtual sessions. And what we've started is this series. This is the second video in the series of where Grant will message and ask some questions, and I'll answer them. He'll give his thoughts, brief thoughts on his answers to those questions, and I will then, and he does that written, and I will then do a little video back and kind of fill in any blanks that I feel. Now, again, I stress the advice that I give is the way that I would do it. The advice that I give is not the only way to do things. It's the way that I find most useful, but also learning all the time. But these videos will hopefully give you some tips and helps with the topics that we're discussing. So this topic that he's asked me to discuss and talk about is of how to bring a new baby into the home, or how to introduce a dog to a new baby that's came into the home. And what I will do on this video, again, Grant, like I did last time, and to all those listening, at the top of the video I'll put what Grant has, the questions he's asked and kind of the comments that he's put, and I'm answering that now. So I've read through them and I'm now answering those questions. So this is an area where I have a lot of experience. I have 5 young children, 4 of which are under 5 years old. So, and I also have 4 dogs. So this is an area where I can speak very much of practical experience, and I can provide a lot of evidence just by the proof of how my children are with the dogs and how the dogs are with my children. So first of all, when I'm bringing a new baby in, it shouldn't start, of course, by introducing the dog to the baby, by when the baby comes home. The dog should already ideally have a good foundation, a reinforcement foundation of obedience. There should already be a good relationship established of trust and respect between the owner and the dog and the existing members of the family. If you have that already, then you're really not going to have any problems with bringing in a child, a new baby into the home, because you've already got habits there. So the things that ideally you want to make sure that you get hammered down on, and the dog has an understanding and knows before, maybe you're pregnant at the moment, or you're planning to have children in the future, or a baby's coming pretty soon. The place command is a huge must. If you teach the dog place, teach the dog how to calm and relax and give space, and learn that it only comes into your space when it's invited. It has that, your space being in your intimate space. I call 0 to 3 feet is intimate space, 3 to 12 feet is social space, and 12 feet onwards is what we call public space. So for a dog to get into your intimate space, less than 3 feet, it would be beneficial, more beneficial, if that dog already has a habit of that it's invited or sees being in your intimate space as an affection, rather than a dog that can do it without any rules, and is a dog that's already taking space, that already kind of jumps all over you, or jumps all over your furniture, or over people coming in your home, or when you're trying to eat, or things like that. It's already taking your intimate space. We want to first work on that, and place training is a great way to do that. And you just go on my YouTube channel, and you can, or my BPAC Leader page on any of the social media outlets, you'll be able to see some great videos about how to do place training. So the key thing is, you want the before the baby comes, the dog's learning place training, the dog has learned manners, the dog's learned that it has to give space and be calm, and then it can come in your space. So you're setting up a good foundation. This whole concern of, and this is regardless of breed, so you'll have people, oh, right, you've got a Staffy, you've got a Pit Bull, you've got this, you've got that, you shouldn't have a child with it, or you're going to get rid of the dog. Do not listen to people that say that. That is complete ignorance and lack of knowledge of people that say that. It's a terrible thing to say. It's a great relationship to be able to have a dog and a child either come up, be brought up together, or bring in one while one is already there. It's a great way to have a relationship, to have children learn not to be scared of animals or dogs. Nothing worse than you're running around, you're out with your dogs and there's a family or kids running around or whatever, and they see a dog and they run away screaming and terrified, and such a shame. And I always say a dog isn't complete unless there's two dogs, because they're pack animals, and a family isn't complete unless there's a dog. So it's really important that you understand that if you've already got a dog and you're bringing in a child, you do not need to get rid of that dog, and don't listen to anyone that says you do. You might need to change some things, or worry, do not worry about, they're going to get jealous and there's jealousy. And no, well, if the dog has learned how to give boundaries and rules, listen to the rules, and understands its limits in its life, you're just adding an additional, member of the pack that is going to be above the dog. You will not get jealousy at all when you do that. There might be a bit of where the dog is unsure because it's new, but when we have appropriate structure in place, you don't need to worry about jealousy in the dog then trying to go for the child or anything like that. So the general rule is you've been teaching place training, the dog knows place. Then you're also bringing in things that are associated to the baby. So high chairs, you're bringing in buggies, you're bringing in car seats, you're bringing in clothing, you're bringing in blankets, you're bringing in nappies. In America we call that diapers. You're bringing in wipes, you're bringing in everything. Baby noises, squeaky things, whatever it is, the baby toys. And the first rule is the dog doesn't go anywhere near them unless they're invited. So they have to, first of all, be respectful of that new thing. And they only go near that when they're invited. So, and what you want to encourage is this curious social behaviour of sniffing and getting to know the thing. And then when you then do bring home the baby, before you bring home the baby, I would practice with your bags of shopping. So you're bringing home bags of shopping from the shops. You want to act as if when you bring those bags of shopping home, that those bags of shopping are the new baby. So more often than not, when you're bringing in a new baby, you're bringing it in a car seat usually into the home. And yes, we want them to have a good relationship, the dog and the baby, and they will, but that has to be a foundation of trust and respect. So you do not let the dog just dive right in there and be sniffing in the car seat and being all over the child and licking it, and stop humanising your dogs. Don't allow that. The dog has to learn to give space and be respectful. So if you practice with your bags of shopping when you're coming home, put your bags of shopping down. How does your dog meet the bags of shopping? Is the dog in about all the bags, pushing, jumping up at you when you're bringing the bags? If you can't claim a bag of shopping, then you're not going to be able to claim a baby appropriately. So practice with that and claim your bags of shopping, and you're setting it up as where you're being consistent with how the dog approaches things. You then, of course, if you've got a separate room for the baby, I'm not one really, to be honest, saying the dog can't go in that baby's room. I'm saying the dog can go in, but when I invite it. So the dog has to be invited. I'm not one that, no, the dog can never go in the baby's room. Yes, it can if it's invited, and you're sitting with the baby, feeding the baby, and the dog is lying beside you. Or if that is all being controlled, and it's totally fine and appropriate to do that, assuming you're in control and by invitation. So the key thing is you bring in the new baby and the new car seat, and baby goes on the floor in the car seat or on the sofa or whatever. And what you want the dog to do is earn the right to come over and be part of the conversation. The dog's already in the vehicle with you, but I want the dog in the passenger seat, not in the driver's seat. So the dog can do that at a distance. So the key thing is space and calm. Above anything else, you're feeding the baby, you are changing the baby, you are just being with the baby, you're sleeping with the baby, everything. The baby's things and toys, the dog doesn't go near unless it's invited. If you do that, then you're not really going to go far wrong. What you then do invite is a curious, sniffing state of mind, not a frantic excitement because it hears the baby or staring at the baby. That isn't the key to getting close to the baby. So you want there to be a good dynamic between the baby and the dog. Make sure there's rules and boundaries for the dog to know how it has to act appropriately, which is space and calm, to get near the baby. If you do that, you're not going far wrong. So yes, just everything by invitation. Getting the dog desensitized to the baby's things, but always being respectful of them. Yeah, you want the dog to become protective of the baby, like he or she is protected of the owner, but not dominant. You don't want the dog seeing the new baby as their baby. That's very risky, and there's a fine line there sometimes. So you want the dog to realise, look, yeah, you protect us, but you don't dominate and take in the driver's seat and take control here. We'll take control. You're here with us, and you get protective when I ask of it. Okay, and that is also important for when other people come round, that the dog still learns manners. It's not, oh, let's make a huge fuss of the dog because the new baby's here. Then you're just going to create a dog that when the people then start coming to the home, it's getting all excited at people and, you know, sending confusion. Just keep the same rules, the same manners, and you'll not go far wrong. And it'll be the same as the child growing up. You've already created a habit of how the dog is to behave, to where you can be successful. Where I've, got 5 children, 4 dogs, and they absolutely live harmoniously together. And if you want any further details of that, or specific for your own dog, maybe the own temperament of the dog or personality, or you're concerned in any way, message me or do a virtual session or do a practical session to overcome that. It's always beneficial to do that. So yeah, I hope that above all answers your question, Grant, and makes sense to you. The key thing is being invited into space. You don't go far wrong if you've done that. Desensitizing all the things, but yeah, try not to humanise the dog too much. Going, oh look, I'm feeding the baby, and the dog's got its head, up at your armpit. That is not do not allow that. You're just running huge risks there if you do that. Okay, you've now got an actual baby. So if you're treating your dog like a fur baby, you're going to have to live in the real world a bit now and realise that dog is a dog first before it is a breed and before it is your baby. So keep that in mind.